Let's explore polynomial regression where we go beyond straight lines and let our model curve perfectly through the data. Welcome back to Edumentor Dipti. Hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to understand or talk about how polynomial regression works and its use cases and concepts. So without delay, let us start with the topic. Let us start with the topic on polynomial regression. So what is polynomial regression? It's again kind of regression analysis, right? Where the independent and dependent variables are getting modeled on nth degree of polynomial. So when we're talking about polynomial, it's a kind of quadratic, right? Quadratic equations. So where, in quadratic equation, the degree of the equation is 2. So again, it's a kind of polynomial. So where the polynomial, binomial, all those concepts are mathematical concepts. Right? So this term is a mathematical term where the degree will be nth of the equation. So this study or this algorithm is usually working on fitting the model by a method of least square. So we have a concept called ordinary least square where all these, RMSE, MSE and all these concepts are coming. However, before giving input to machine, it will create a different kind of predicted output and it will add it up and it will give for each and every independent variable it is going to do that. So we'll understand. And this OLS method is based on Gauss-Markov theorem. Okay. And when we are talking about polynomial regression, here the trend of the line or the trend of the regressor line is never getting a straight line. It's always a curved one. So let us understand from this image. So if you see this image, I'm just maximizing this image. So you can see that this is a prediction. Like these all are your training data and testing data, and this is how the trend line is coming in between, right? I mean, this red color is a curved one. So when we are seeing these kind of trends, that means the data is very complex in these kind of scenarios, and we will consider polynomial. If you see these kind of trends of data when we are working on any data set, you should be able to understand, okay, I have to take or I have to consider polynomial regression algorithm to perform or to predict the output of the model, right? Now, from this image, what we are understanding, we have a data point, right? So all those data point is not directly predicting. It is going through two cycles in between. So one, let me get my pen. So this data points which you have or the data sets which you have, it will go through this cycle, this particular cycle, combined cycle, and it will give you the prediction. And the same thing we will see in our practical example when we go ahead. So this pipeline or this cycle, what exactly is happening? So like I mentioned, through OLS or through ordinary least square method, it is going to predict each and every x square, x cube, like that till xf. It's going to predict, this is for each independent variable, it's going to do that. So if you have 10, so this method is going to get that kind of predicted output for each, and it is going to add it up, or it is going to add with the least square method. Then it is going to create a coefficient of polynomial, like I can say that complete independent variable, a polynomial independent variable, which I say. It is going to create that polynomial. Then after that, what we are doing, we are performing a simple linear regression or multilinear regression where when you are considering the more than two variables, right? So it's going to perform that, and when it is predicting, instead of x, it is going to take x poly, which we are getting from this method, from the OLS method, right? And this image is for the equation. When I'm talking about the equation, you will see this. This is your predicted one, right? Y hat is your predicted output. So when we're talking about predicted output, this is the equation for polynomial. And the equation is beta 0 plus beta 1x plus beta 2x square plus dot till nth power, right? and where y hat is a predicted value and x is your independent variable. And this is for each. This is for each. If you have 10 independent variable, the same concept or the same logic is going to be applicable for all. Then after that, it is going to sum it up or add it up with least square method. We will go ahead. So we will understand what is ordinary least square method. This is one of the important concepts, and you can just go through these videos if you want to explore more. So OLS method is an estimator. Again, it's an estimator or it's a statistical method, right? Where the polynomial is getting found by applying the standard OLS method. So what exactly is the standard OLS method? This method minimizes the sum of the square differences between the observed and predicted values. So when I'm talking about polynomial here, it is going to take each and every prediction. Like I said, right, if you have 10 independent variable, it is going to create the variable just the way it is, like x square, x cube, then till x 10th power, right? It is going to create those predicted variables for each original independent variable. Then after that, it is going to treat, or combining it is going to treat that under multiple linear regression, just the way I have shown you in that pipeline, right? First, it is going to take that, create that variable, polynomial variable. Then after that, it is going to keep input inside a multiple linear regression to estimate the coefficient. Then whatever the process happens through this linear regression, it finds the best fit curve, right? When you're talking about linear regression, we are finding the best fit line. And when you're talking about the case of polynomial regression, we are finding the best fit curve. And how we are finding? We are finding through the data points by minimizing the sum of squared errors. And to formulate that polynomial model, usually, I mean, these are few steps. Like this one, I have explained you what is the method. However, these are few steps which we are considering. One, we are formulating the polynomial model by getting the predicted variables for each independent variable, right? This is the formula, right? Beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus beta 2 x squared, like that. And we have some residue factor which you are adding. Then at the, like, it will create, by taking all the predictor variables, it is going to create a matrix of it, right? Then after that, it is going to apply the OLS method. So what this is the OLS method? This is the standard square least square method, right? It is going to take actual minus predicted square, then it is going to add it up like that. So this is how it is going to, like, this is the logic behind your polynomial regression, OLS method, or ordinary least square method. And here are few examples of polynomial regression. Like I mentioned, that polynomial regression always works on the complex part of data. And here you can see there are few use cases I'm explaining here. So one is a real estate. So real estate, we can get the output through your multilinear regression, and the same thing we can understand or we can achieve through this. How? So if you see in few cases, right, price always not increase linearly in case of house prices. For large houses, there is a huge difference among between the, like, there are different type of houses, right? One is an apartment or flat. One is a you have these lands where the houses are built over. Then you have the complete land and where you're building the house. So there are different scenarios, and each scenarios prices may show different jumps, right, altogether. So that is not a linear trend where the price from one point to another point. Suppose, let me take a pen and explain it. So when we are seeing a jump between trends, like if this is your apartment price which you are getting, the same thing will not be here when we are creating a land and we are getting the house. And the same thing we are not seeing when we are going for villas, right? So the trend will be something like this when it is going to create a pattern. And when these kind of trends are coming, usually what we are doing, we are considering polynomial regression. Similarly, for automobile engineering case, then for pharmaceuticals, then finance, and all these things where you are seeing the growth or the trend is changing non-linearly, then in that case we are considering polynomial regression. However, these can be solved with your multilinear or linear regression use cases, right? Then we have few assumptions which you are considering when you are considering your polynomial regression. First one is the behavior of the dependent variable should be explained by a linear or curvilinear relationship between dependent and nth independent variables, right? And the relationship between dependent and independent variable here is a curvilinear or specifically polynomial. And the independent variables should be independent of each other. They should not be dependent on each other. If you have multiple independent variables, usually that is the use case, right? We should be having multiple independent variables and they should not be dependent on each other. If they are dependent on each other, then we will get a linear relationship, right? We cannot get a curved linear. Here the errors are independent as the variables are independent. Here the errors are also independent. And when we are considering the trend should be normally distributed with mean and a OLS. Then we will understand what is a degree. When we are talking about polynomial, degree is coming into picture because we are telling that we are drawing the curve on nth degree, right? So what is a degree here? So when we are talking about degree, that is the highest power of independent variable which we are considering in our polynomial equation, right? So if you see this, when we are talking about y hat equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus beta 2 x square, like that, right? So when I'm talking about x square, then till xn, that n is your degree. And when I'm talking about 1 degree polynomial, that always defines your linear regression or your simple linear regression. And therefore, the degree of value when we are considering for polynomial, it should be greater than 1. And with the increasing degree of polynomial, the complexity of model is also increasing. That's obvious, right? And when you're talking about degree, it controls how flexibility the model is and how many times it can fit the data on that bend line, right? And here few examples of few curves which I have shown. Let me maximize this image. So if you see that we have, this is a degree 0, that means it's a straight line, right? Then degree 1, this is a linear function. Then degree 2, this is your quadratic function. And this one is your, with degree 2, usually we are considering for polynomial because this is your trend of the data most of the times you are seeing. And this is cubic function, degree 3. This is quadratic function, this is degree 4. It's like sine curve we are getting. And this is quintic function or degree 5. And this is how the trend is down, right? And this is the formula for each and every degree, right? So when I'm talking about degree 1, it's your straight line formula, right? Beta 0 plus beta 1x, simple linear regression. Then we have 2 beta 0 plus beta 1x plus beta 2 x square, which is parabolic or curved. And the same thing if we'll see y hat beta 0 plus, this is for degree 3, beta 1x plus beta 2 x square plus beta 3 x cube, S shaped. Like that, you can get defined nth number of polynomial or nth number of degree. And how to find correct degree when you are working on polynomial? In order to find it, your model should prevent overfitting or underfitting. And how to achieve it? There are two methods. One is a forward selection and another is a backward selection. So forward selection will increase the degree of the model until, and all this is happening internally, we cannot see them. And until it finds the significant, degree to define the best possible model. It will keep on finding for each and every independent variable, it is finding that. And backward selection is what? When the method decreases the degree until it is significant enough to define the best possible method. So there are two ways. One, it will increase to find the best possible degree, and it will decrease if it has, like, if it is already reaching, it will not consider that. It will start decreasing until it will find the correct possible model, right? So these are the two methods, and this is how your polynomial regression works, and these are few steps which I have defined. One is the feature transformation. So first we are considering the polynomial feature and we are transforming that, right? And how we are transforming? We are taking the input features, all input features, to include polynomial terms. For example, for degree 3, we are considering till x cube, right? And that this is applicable for each and every independent variable. And how we are doing? In Python, this is the use case, right? I mean, we are considering polynomial features from pre-processing. We have a pre-processing, one more step or one more module will come before sending the data to your linear regression or your like fitting that model into linear regression. So this is step. We are importing polynomial features and we are passing the degree here. And when we're passing the degree, it is creating a fit and transform method by taking that x variable. Or what is that x variable? That x variable is a number of independent variables which we are considering for training on testing the data, right? That same thing you will pass and you will get your polynomial variable or polynomial feature. And the same feature, in the next step, you will take a linear regression and you will fit inside it on the transform data. And this is what the method. We know this is a regular method, right? Instead of x, here x underscore poly will come. And with this, the model will understand the coefficients for all polynomial terms through this. Then the step C, it will predict. To predict the data, again, you can pass the polynomial features. And these are a few degrees which I have explained already and I am showing you here. We have degree 0, that means constant polynomial, degree 1, linear polynomial, quadratic, then cubic, quartic, quintic, sextic, then septic. Till 7 or till 7th I have showed the degree. And like all other different algorithms, we have different matrices which we are comparing when we are coming to different models or different algorithms where we are applying to different models, right? So when I'm talking about regression, these are your matrices, right? These are matrix formulas, and the same thing we can get it by using polynomial algorithms. So here we have mean absolute error, and we know what is mean absolute error, 1 by n into summation of y minus y hat and mode of it, right? The absolute value of that, absolute or actual minus predicted. Mean square error, we are just taking the square of actual minus predicted for all. Then we are summing it up. Then root mean square, it's a root over of mean square error. Then mean absolute percentage error, which is it is going to divide by 100th. Then r square and adjusted r square. Then we have explained variance score or EVS, right? So all these are good to compare between different models. And we have completed our understanding on polynomial regression, and we will understand on the application or how it is getting applied in real time in our next videos. Thank you. That is all for now. We will cover further topics of ML in our upcoming videos. Till that time, see you. Please start subscribing, like, share your comments, share your feedback, share this channel link to all your near ones and friends. Till the next time, see you. Bye. Take care.